Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 2024 Cowboys Rookie Report, Draft Class Impresses during Week 1 Clash. The Dallas Cowboys faced an uncertain beginning to their 2024 campaign, mostly due to the fact the team's rookie class would play a major factor. The guys who got reps played above expectation and should give Cowboys fans a newfound level of optimism. All week it was the Guyton versus Garrett show in the media. Mainstream media and pundits took plenty of time this week to discuss the fact Dallas was starting two rookie offensive linemen against the Browns' exceptional pass rush, and more specifically against Myles Garrett. This led to a lot of attention and apprehension from fans watching this particular matchup, and for the most part, Guyton was great. Sure, it wasn't perfect and he drew the penalty with the block to the back which negated a positive play, but he did his job for the most part. Guyton played all 60 offensive snaps against the Browns. He allowed a total of 2 pressures and only 1 sack. Against a defense that was 6th most in sacks last year and facing Myles Garrett, you have to be impressed with the start Guyton had. Nealand was formidable on Sunday and seemed to get more impactful as the day went on. In the second half he made a huge stop to kill a drive down in the Cowboys' red zone. Nealand was an integral part of the onslaught of pressure the Cowboys' defensive line placed on Deshaun Watson, who was lost and bewildered for the majority of the game. Nealand ended the game with 3 tackles, no sacks, but he did finish with 5 total pressures. That ranks 3rd most on the team, only behind Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. As a run defender, he was one of the most effective and efficient players. An extremely positive beginning for Nealand. The concern with BB coming into the game wasn't the blocking but the snapping. After months of constant practice, both at practice and at home, it looks as though BB is on target and consistent with his snaps. It's still early to completely tick that box with him, but playing center in his first game environment, under that pressure to get it done, he looked totally fine. Remarkably, there were only 2 players on the offensive line that had a completely clean game with 0 pressures allowed, 0 sacks allowed and 0 penalties. One was Tyler Smith, the other was Cooper Beebe. Dallas Cowboys CeeDee Lamb on his $136 million contract signing and what he learned during holdout. CeeDee Lamb is a happy man these days. The Dallas Cowboys star wide receiver is only weeks removed from signing a 4-year, $136 million contract, which includes a $38 million signing bonus, a record for a wide receiver, and $100 million guaranteed. The contract was agreed upon shortly before the start of the season after Lamb had held out during the entirety of training camp. The 25-year-old receiver explains that he was actually in Florida. He stayed in shape during his holdout in Fort Lauderdale when he found out the news and that he was ecstatic. "I was actually in Florida when I first found out, and how did I feel? I was ecstatic," says Lamb with a big smile on his face during a one-on-one interview. "It didn't feel real. I think we posted a video on it with my reaction when I was on the phone with my agent. I couldn't believe it. Once he told me, it was like finally, the deal is done. Now I can go play ball." Lamb is now the 2nd highest paid wide receiver in the NFL after he was originally due to earn just a shade under $18 million this season. Not only will he earn $34 million on an annual basis, he's locked in with the Cowboys through the 2028 season. The 5th-year receiver is all smiles after earning his big contract with huge production last season. Lamb posted an NFL-leading 135 catches with 1,749 receiving yards, both franchise records. The young receiver explains how it's still a surreal feeling 2 weeks after he signed the contract. "I'm just like, wait a minute, let's enjoy this. Take a step back," says Lamb. "I just think about all the things that I've been through in my life and my family's life and just continuing to grow as a man and be that pedestal for my brothers and my cousins and all my little ones that's under me and obviously just being a leader to the community. It's an amazing feeling. It's so surreal. Although Lamb missed practicing with his teammates during training camp, he didn't seem to miss a beat during the Cowboys' season-opening win over the Cleveland Browns. Lamb posted a team-leading 5 receptions for 61 receiving yards in the 33-17 victory. He explains that while his cardio isn't up to his liking, he felt amazing during Week 1 and that his endurance will only go up the more reps and games he plays moving forward. "I felt amazing," says Lamb during his 2024 NFL season debut against the Browns. "Felt a bit of fatigue in the back end of the game, but that's where the difference is from training and playing football. I felt a slight step back, but as we go throughout these things and I get more practices, I'll be back." Lamb reveals that he actually stayed in shape during his training camp absence while working out for 3 hours a day for 3 to 5 days a week. He says that he definitely missed the camaraderie with his teammates during training camp. The star receiver also says that he has yet to make any big purchases since signing his deal. "I wish I went to training camp, I will say that, just to build that camaraderie with my guys, be that leader that I'm supposed to be," says Lamb. "I can lead from a distance, but it's nothing like the presence. I wish I was there for my guys, but I had to handle some business." The 3-time Pro Bowl receiver is speaking on behalf of his partnership with Body Armor, whom he has had a working relationship with for several years now. Lamb mentions how the popular sports drink actually helped him stay hydrated during his difficult workouts while holding out in training camp. Cowboys' Dak Prescott trade still future possibility despite clause, Team VP. The Cowboys' deal with Dak Prescott is done, a record-breaking $240 million contract over 4 years in which $231 million is guaranteed. Those are the headline aspects of the deal, but the details have begun to come out as well. Some of those became public thanks to Cowboys VP Stephen Jones himself, who appeared on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas to talk about getting Prescott signed. And 2 aspects of Prescott's last contract, a clause guaranteeing the team won't use the franchise tag and a no-trade clause, are in the new contract, too, Jones said. The franchise tag aspect of the deal is no surprise. In fact, the way franchise tags are structured, they're almost useless when you have quarterback salaries skyrocketing the way they have in recent years. Jones explains that, but also had an interesting take on the possibility of some future Prescott trade. He did not rule it out, and pointed to other situations in which a quarterback was dealt despite having a no-trade clause. Here's how Jones explained the decision to take a franchise tag off the table, via the Dallas Morning News. "This day and time the dynamics of the franchise tag, if you're into a quarterback that's in a big deal, the fact is that to franchise tag somebody you have to give them a quarter or more of their cap number. It's unrealistic to even think that you can franchise somebody because of how big the cap number is. In a franchise tag, you've got to carry the whole thing, you can't spread it out over the years. So it's really a non-issue. Once you get into these quarterbacks that are, I think there's almost 20 of them now making $40 or more million in this league. It's a non-issue, the franchise part of it. Now, the trade aspect is of greater interest, because the fact is, one reason the Cowboys were hesitant to pony up a new contract for Prescott quickly was because of his lack of success in the playoffs. Prescott, as any Cowboys fan knows, is 74-41 as a regular season starter, a 3-time Pro Bowl pick, including last season, when he was the MVP runner-up. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Dak Prescott? Leave your opinion in the comments.